last chapter. Do you think Sam made the right choice to give up Max? Why or why not? Is his decision a selfish one or a selfless one? What other options did Max have? Or did he have?
In my opinion, I liked the last chapter. I liked how it showed like how Sam still cares about Max, and he went back to see him and figure out how he's doing. And for the question about do I think it was selfish, I feel like he wasn't really selfish because of that. He still cares about Max with all his like heart and everything like that. Like Max is still his kid, but he had to look at what's best for Max. He wasn't looking at what's best for him. He was looking at what's best for Max.
I agree with Tony. I agree with Tony. However, I think that it was a little both. I think that he gave up Max not because he was sitting there like, I don't want to deal with this kid right now. He was like really upset about it, and it was something he'd been like thinking about. And it's not like he didn't love Sam. Like he really loved Sam, and he wanted to. I mean, he really loved Max and really wanted him in his life. But on page 196, he was talking about how he deserves more and he deserves better. And like, I think that if you really love something, you gotta let it go if you think that's what's best for it.
I think the last chapter I liked it the last chapter because Sam meeting Max for the first time in a long time showed he was willing to still let him be a part of his life. And page 198, Sam said it's not that he's going to want stuff, shoes, hockey, or it's not about me going to college or getting married. That showed me he wasn't being selfish. So.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Like, this was definitely not an act of like selfishness because he did care for Max and it was like he really wanted better for him. It's not really like neglecting him like Brittany did.
Yeah, I agree with everyone so far. And like, whoever said that he let Max like went back to visit. Like on page 204, he holds out his hand and he was like, "Hi, I'm Max." I think this is like really good because he like knew that Sam didn't give him away as in like, I don't want you. It was in like, I want what's best for you. So he knew that he cared, and it wasn't like when he went back, it wasn't like for vengeance. It was more so like for reunion.
I personally did not like the last chapter because I kind of thought that the whole book was about Sam and Max and Claire and Emily and their relationships, and then like all of a sudden after one chapter that everything was just kind of like gone. So I had a lot of like unanswered questions about the book, and then yeah, so I just kind of left a lot of questions.
I agree. I hated the last chapter, pages 202 and 204, because we never found out like anything about Claire, and that really pissed me off. Like I just wanna, like they were supposed to be together.
I disagree with Ian and Mitchell because pages 202 to 204, the last chapter, I liked how he was about to go on a fishing trip, which is kind of to him a father-son relationship kind of pastime, because he did that with his dad, and his dad truly cared about him, and this kind of shows that he still cares about Max and like what he's doing in life, so he doesn't just forget about him.
So I kind of have like a question here, guys. Like, why don't you think Sam ever tried to get in contact with Max before his 18th birthday? Because I think they said Max was 18. So like, why do you think that was just like Sam trying to stay away, like for Max to stay away?
So
well,
there's
that's
thing with adoption agencies, and they have like certain rules about like when you can contact and like when you can put out your information for your like child you gave away, and for most agencies it's 18. So like,
well, that's not completely true. It's normally not the agency, it's the family that writes up the contract that decides if they want any contact before they're 18.
Also, I feel like 18 would be a much more like mature age to tell someone about how their life went, and going off of what Mitchell, Alex, sorry, Alex said about symbolism positioning. I feel like he gave Max away for the better, just like how he let that fish go in that chapter.
Yeah.
That chapter. chapter, that similitude chapter.
I agree with what you're saying. I think like 18 is a more mature age, so you can have like a deeper conversation and like, you know, actually, you know, have like a strong kind of like talk, you know, because you know, or I don't know.
Yeah,
But like you can talk more, you know, there's more to talk about and agree with.
I agree with I agree with Neve on that. I feel like no matter like what the situation was, like his adopting parents didn't want Sam to see him till he's 18 or whatever. They still saw each other when he was 18, and it was just a good age for like Sam to be able to explain everything to Max, like why he gave him up and like why they or why he had to do it, and for Max to like fully understand him because he's a mature adult at this point.
Yeah, I agree with Tony with what he said about like 18 is a more mature age, and that goes back into is it selfish or selfless, which it is. It is selfless because on page 196, Sam says, "I do love Max. I love him," and it just goes to show that he really, you know, he still loves him and stuff. And then going back to the ending real quick, I didn't really like the ending at all, and I think it was like too abrupt, and like we really didn't like see much of like how Max reacted to Sam being away from so long. And like on page 204, Max says hi, and then like he says like I'm Max and stuff, and then the book just ends. Like I want to know what happened after that, so that just made me mad.
I agree with it being a selfless decision. Sam had been hit with many people's negative opinions, but not one time did that trigger him to give up. Page 199, Max was, I still feel like he was being reasonable by trying to keep Max in the family, like giving him up to Aunt Jean and her husband, still trying to keep him around. That's how I feel like he was still not trying to be reasonable and try to keep him around instead of just completely giving him up.
I agree with what Brandon said about how it kind of ended really abruptly. Like I liked the last chapter, but I feel like the book could have went on for a couple more pages to explain like what happened with everybody that was like main characters in the novel.
I kind of like how it just like stopped, because I think it just kind of lets you make up the end of your story.
I agree with Liz. Like, I think that a big reason authors do that is so like you can kind of think what you want to think, and like the story's not written. At this point, they could have had an amazing conversation, or he could have found out Max was a terrible person. Like, it could be anything, because we don't know what it is yet.
I disagree. I don't like how like a story just cuts off. Cause there's like a lot
Cliffhanger.
of things done. It's like a cliffhanger, but never ends. Like when you watch a movie, and then like say it's like an adventure movie, they go into a cave and it just ends there.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that was pointless.
Yeah.
You skip like
What she
the whole
said is like you gotta look at it from like a reality perspective, because you can't just expect everything to become like all happy and dandy, or you can't figure out something is like something like horrible is about to happen. It's just it ends from there, because there are some point in people's life where it just stops there too. Like you could either hear from that person, or you just never hear from them again.
I'm with the beef on this one though. If it's a story, I want it to be like, I want them to tell me what's gonna happen. Like, I don't like how she just kind of left it open. I would much rather just have her say that if it was bad, that the conversation was bad and they never talked again. I would much rather have her be like that and then me wondering.
No.
I fully agree.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, I know. I think it's good because she left it open so people could like kind of formulate what they thought would have happened. Like the whole story, they're telling you. Like the point of the story is to tell you what's going on. But I like the way she ended it, the way she did, because like I might think that they never talked and they were like enemies, but someone else might have thought that they were, you know, father and son. They moved back in with each other and they had an amazing life. So I don't know. I kind of just think it's cool how you can, like, other people will maybe decide different things about the book.
Yeah, I agree with Neve and Mitch on this one, because I like I like being able to like be like, oh, so that's how the book ended. I don't want to be thinking for like 20 years, like, oh, I wonder if Max and Sam have a good relationship now. Or, like,
I kind of agree with Tony. I would have liked to see a conversation between them, even if it was short. I would have wanted to see like at least something or read something.
Hey, don't cut off the camera yet. Let me go.
Oh my
Hey, I agree with Mitchell and Eve and Tony. Like,
Why?
I was gonna say what? Like, when you buy a book, you expect it to all be there for you. Saying,
yeah.
and that's just wasting my money, kind of. If I buy a book, I want like everything to be there, like the full ending, and I think the book's kind of a ripoff for that.
Okay, we're gonna end it at that.